More Nick.
Cannot
free America's weak, while also expecting that we're going to draw on.
Okay, young Nicholas.
They do away.
Purpose.
There I am. Yay! Oh, he's doing the salting thing. He's talking about the salting thing. Holy shit. Yes, we are Nick respecters on this show. You don't have to like Nick, but we are Nick Fuentes respecters on this channel. Okay. Back to me.
That you don't have the same level of protest out there. Remember the first time Trump got elected, it was the pink hair women's march every weekend. I mean, they were out there in force constantly. And I think after 8 years of that, getting Kamala Harris and Joe Biden in return for all of your activism, the far left has decided, no, that's not worth it. We're not protesting anymore. We're going to move to direct action. And we actually know what their plans are, and they're sort of advertising them everywhere. And we have to take this seriously, and we have to treat this with the intensity it deserves in terms of understanding truly that the left is trying to do in America what they have successfully done all over the world, which is start a color revolution, which is just a modern manifestation of communist revolutions from 100 years ago. Correct. It's the same tactics. It's the same methods that they're using. And they're doing it in the open because it doesn't seem like anybody in power is aware of what they're doing or motivated to stop them.
So true,
Which again,
Harrison.
is extremely disturbing. And I've got some videos to illustrate this, because we don't just know what they're planning on doing. We know the exact day they're planning to launch this attack. It's Mayday 2028. And I'll explain exactly why in just a minute. Let's go to clip 35 here. This is, I believe her name is Karlyn Borysenko. I think her last name is Borysenko, and I'll get her exact Twitter account, because she's been on this, very well, and we're gonna have to get her on to have a discussion about this. Clip 35 here. This is again the far left planning in the open to stage a genuine, full-fledged communist revolution in 2028. Just watch.
I'm Karlyn Borysenko. I'm an analyst and independent journalist covering the far left in America, and I'm about to tell you about the most terrifying thing the far left is doing that you don't know about yet. For the last 3 weeks, I've been attending SALT training with the Democratic Socialists of America. The idea of salting is the concept that socialists who want to control the unions will get their members jobs in strategic organizations like Amazon, like Starbucks, like groceries, like airlines, like automotive, like education. They will get their socialist friends jobs in these industries specifically with the purpose of them agitating to form unions and to get more workers into the unions within those organizations. And what attending these trainings has taught me is that the Democratic Socialists of America, through their labor caucus right here, they have a massive network of jobs all over the country where socialists are sitting in jobs in these organizations, and they hire their socialist friends, and then they put them through training, they put them through mentorship. They're not there to do a job. They don't really care about the job. They are there to organize, to form unions. So why is this important? There is a strategy on the left called Mayday 2028. This is led primarily by the UAW, the United Auto Workers. But what this is the idea of a mass general strike. Essentially, the far left is trying to organize across all the labor unions, but with a really strategic focus on specific types of unions, because they want all the workers across all the unions to strike at the same time, Mayday 2028, May 1st, 2028, in order to completely cripple society. What unions are they targeting? Well, this is from the form that the DSA had people fill out tonight. They're targeting education. They're targeting logistics, Amazon, UPS. They're targeting service industries like Starbucks and groceries. That was the most terrifying one, if I'm honest about it. The grocery industry, the food supply, oh, great. They're targeting auto manufacturing. They're targeting airlines. And if you want to try to get a job in another industry, they'll probably help you out there. But those are the ones that they're specifically targeting, because those are the ones that they believe are going to do the most damage when everyone goes on strike at exactly the same time 3 years from now. You know, one of the worst lies that the right has ever told people is that socialists don't have jobs, socialists are lazy, they just want everything handed to them for free, yada, yada, yada. Not only do socialists and communists have jobs, but they control the labor unions, and they're building a massive job network to form new unions, all leading up to their little revolutionary event where they are literally going to try to cripple all of society just to demonstrate that they can. I beg people, please stop underestimating your enemy, because they are literally planning out years in advance, building a massive organizational structure where they're getting socialist jobs in these strategic industries all over the country, and no one's talking about it because no one really knows about it. There are so many people who are not prepared at all for what the left is trying to do to our society. But people who follow my content and support my work, you're at the tip of the spear. You know this stuff before anyone else does. You can find my work over at decodetheleft.com. You can also find me on Substack, Karlyn, KARLYN.substack.com. And if you want to talk to me about what the far left is up to, get in touch with me through this website. If you're a politician, if you're maybe someone in the government that, I don't know, maybe wants to do something about this, you let me know. Listen, man, I think one of the strongest things that we can do right now is for the government to hold congressional hearings into the political organizing activities of the unions. I am sick of anti-Semitism hearings. No more anti-Semitism hearings. I want congressional hearings into the political organizing activities of the unions, because the unions are what is going to mess up our entire world, and it's where they're going to organize their little revolutionary event that is going to lead to a revolutionary crisis in this country.
I forgot I said that anti-Semitism thing.
And that is genuinely what they're planning on doing. And again, it is a cut and dry color revolution playbook that they're running. The George Soros, Saul Alinsky playbook.
No, not
they're
George
preparing
Soros,
for this.
Harrison.
They're setting a date 3 years in advance.
No,
it will be May 1st.
Not George. Okay. Harrison, thank you for playing my clip. I'm really honored. It's really amazing. I'm actually almost crying. I'm so happy that this information is finally getting out to people. But no, Harrison, no, this is not George Soros. We're gonna, Harrison, you and I are gonna have a long talk about this. We're so close. And now I have to be a killer of narratives. Oh no! That's okay. We still appreciate Harrison.
1st, 2028, that they intend to launch a communist revolution in this country. They're planning for it. They're getting ready for it. And by the way, this has almost succeeded in the past. I mean, it has succeeded in the past. There's a lot of elements of this that also occurred in the Russian Revolution. I think it's more aligned with something like what happened in Germany in 1918 with a communist revolution, which was exactly like this. You had, it was during war. The German authorities are very preoccupied with what's going on in the war. And actually it started with, in the Navy.
Okay, I guess that's enough. Damn, man. Damn. I've been on all these shows before. I've never been on INFOWARS. I've never been on INFOWARS, and this is really cool, actually. But I've been on a lot of big shows. I've been on Glenn Beck. I've been on Fox News. I've been on, all these big shows before. And, I never kind of but I was on all those shows a long time ago. I was on all those shows in 2020 when I was being propped up as the Democrat who left the left, the knitting Democrat or whatever. And I haven't had as much far-reaching coverage about my work that I've been doing for the past 4 years in a long time. And I got to be honest, for people who are newer to the channel, and I really appreciate all the new people to the channel. I appreciate all the people who are coming to the streams. You got to understand, I feel like I've been screaming into the void for years. And I was almost tearing up. I was getting a little emotional, that someone is actually listening and that people are actually listening now, because I really I feel like I've been screaming into the void for years. I feel like members of my community have been screaming into the void for years that we see this coming. We watch the far left every single day. We know what they're doing. We talk about it all the time. We have group chats where we talk about this stuff and pass information back and forth and all that stuff. We have been seeing this coming for a while, and I've been screaming and going, guys, here's what's going on, and no one has been listening. Yeah, this has been our struggle. This has been our struggle. For people who have been around for years, I bet you some of you are probably, I know Reagan's getting as emotional as I am, because Reagan has put in so much work for this. You guys have no idea. You guys have no idea what longtime members of my community have done. You really don't. And so to have that be played on Harrison's show, and to have him take it seriously, and to tell his massive audience, this is what you need to pay attention to, and this is what's happening. And I mean, to basically get a free ad for my work on INFOWARS, that's pretty effing cool, honestly. But like, it honestly is like, it makes me really emotional. And I know I'm not supposed to be emotional because I'm supposed to be a mean bitch on the internet. I'm completely breaking character right now. I'm supposed to be a mean bitch on the internet. But like, it actually does make me very emotional that people are finally showing up and people are finally fucking listening, because I've been trying so hard for fucking years to like get people to listen and they wouldn't listen. Oh, man. You know, I was starting to question. Like, people know this. Like, I even said this at the beginning of this year. I said, you know what? I'm going to give this one more year. And if people don't start listening this year, I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say. But now people are listening. And it's like all the years that I've been shouting into the void are finally kind of like coming together. And I just really appreciate it. I broke through the fucking wall. It took years of sheer willpower and screaming at the fucking sky. And I finally broke through. And again, I continue to be sad that it took Charlie Kirk getting assassinated for people to take this threat seriously. That really does make me sad. I wish it hadn't happened this way. But, you know, I'm very much a believer of like everything happens for a reason. And I know everything happens in its own best time. I know that everything happens in its own best time. I get it. But man, the last several years of covering this content and having no one listen have been really, really, really hard. I have basically driven myself insane listening to the far left. Like, you guys don't even know. You guys don't even know. So it feels really good that it's finally being acknowledged. And it feels really good to see so many new people on the channel and so many new people on the Substack and so many new people interacting with what I do. And I'm putting together ways for you guys to be able to like get up to speed faster. Actually, like as a reminder, if you are new to my work, if you're new to my work and you want a crash course in some of the things that we've seen and some of the things that we've done, what I want you to do is go over to the Substack and I want you to go to the How to Speak Socialist section and go to this re-education link. This is a free class that I put together with like a compilation of clips from leftist training and stuff like that. And I'll take the super chats in a second, guys. But it's really important, guys. If you haven't taken this class yet, it's totally free. It's a 90-minute class. It's called Re-Education and Anti-Communist Introduction to the Far Left. You can also find this on YouTube if you want it. And it is just a free 90-minute class where I walk you through like dozens of clips from far left trainings. So you guys can get like a crash course in this if you're newer to my work. Really important that you do this so you understand the language. You can also do the 4-hour masterclass. So this is a little bit longer, expanded version where we go into much greater detail about all of these things. So you'll find 2 videos, either each about a couple hours long, that will teach you this stuff. And if you're interested in more of, and one of the things that queer Marxist stuff, which queer is like the most dystopian form of Marxism, basically, you can find my introduction to queer Marxism over on the Substack as well, and also on the YouTube channel. And again, guys, it's really important that we start to understand our enemy. The reason I do all this stuff is I think it's desperately important for us to understand the enemy that we're fighting. And I think that many people on the right have been misinformed about what this is. And it's not your fault that you've been misinformed. It's really not your fault. You trusted people to tell you the truth and they didn't. But all I do is look at primary source evidence. So you can just see the primary source evidence for yourself and you can take away with it what you will.